Yeah, come on.
That's the shot right there.
Hey, y'all, what's happening? Welcome to day 4 of the, my gosh, I'm forgetting the name of this thing, the Start Where You Are challenge. We're so glad that y'all are hanging out with us this afternoon, this evening, whatever time it is in the part of the world that you are. So come on. I don't know if you've had a good time this week. I certainly have. This week, I've got to say that I've been fired up, on fire, because we have been, my goodness, it's value. We've had some really good information. I've seen growth in so many people this week, and I'm so glad that everybody is here. And we're getting to that part of the week where some people are feeling a little bit guilty. They're feeling a little bit guilty. I know it, because we're doing lives, we're recording this stuff, and some people are feeling like, oh my gosh, I have not kept up. I said I commit at the beginning of the week, and then I haven't done everything. Listen, I want to tell you all, there's no guilt here. Today is your day 1. If you didn't do anything on our day 1 or our day 2 or our day 3, today is your day 1. So do me a favor. If you're in the chat, go ahead and just type for me. Just say, I'm ready. Just say I'm ready. Just type I'm ready in the chat. I want to see your names. I want to see you typing it in so that we can really kick this thing off. We've got a special guest this evening, and I'm ready to bring him on in just a little bit. But let us go back through some of the stuff that we went through this week. All right, so let's see. We've had some amazing people that are here. Let's look at TJ's here. All right, Rosenda's here. All right, Rosenda, I see you. All right. D's like, I'm ready. I see you, D. I see you, Amalia. Oh, yeah. All right. I see you, Natasha. You're like, I'm sleepy, but I'm ready. All right. Cool. All right. And somebody else is Facebook user. Come on, Facebook user. Here's what I'd like for you to do. Go make sure that you hit the overview tab and then give Restream permission so that we can see your name and your image. Evelyn's like, I'm tired, but I'm ready. Oh, yeah. Come on, Evelyn. All right. You get fired up with me, Evelyn. Sterling's like, I am ready. I see you, Sterling. All right. Cool. Excellent. Keep them coming. We love it. All right. So listen, I'm going to bring up my slides here so that we can really get populated here with this thing. All right. And we can start our thing off right here. So challenge day number 4. Can y'all believe we're at day number 4? Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? If you are a business owner who wants to make a case, a better case for their products and services, go ahead and type 1 in the chat. Come on, give me a 1 if that's you. If you are a coach or a consultant who knows that they can make even more impact by telling stories and showing up better on screen, give me a 2. Go ahead and type 2 in the chat. Come on, let me see you. You guys are like, listen, if I haven't discovered who I am already, D is like, I'm 1, 2, and 3. All right, number 3, if you're someone who wants to make an impact with their voice and knows they need to start showing up more powerfully, come on with it. You are number 3. So let's keep this party going. Let's keep this party moving. And as I've been doing it at the beginning every time this week, one of the things that is powerful, one of the things that's really powerful is belief, right? Belief is super powerful. And so here's what I want you to know. I want you to know what I believe. Here's what Robert believes. I believe that your words deserve to be heard and that your story deserves a stage. I believe that your words deserve to be heard and your story deserves a stage. Let's walk through what we have been doing this week, all right? So we've gone through this whole idea of the stories that you can tell and where to find them. We shared with you some story types. Then we walked through how you can find your crew, your tribe, and get them to engage with you. We shared with you a little bit of tech as well. I shared with you, what was it? Somebody remember? It was Smart Camera. I shared with you Smart Camera, how you can begin to use a simple technology on your smartphone to begin sharing your stories. Then we walked through how to share your stories, how to structure your stories. We did that yesterday. And now, today, man, I don't know if you saw how energized and passionate and fired up I was yesterday. You thought I was fired up yesterday? Oh, yeah, we're on day 4. I'm super fired up today. Today, we're going to be talking about how to master audience connection, and we've got a super special guest. He's already on camera there, so I'm gonna share him with you in just a little bit here. But let's keep this thing going and just kind of recap here. So here are some of our action takers here, right? So Robert did a video. Robert Bunn, I love Robert Bunn. All right. Elizabeth Carter did a video. I love Elizabeth Carter. All right. Evelyn Santana did a video. Cheryl Dodd did a video. But notice who I put front and center here. Listen. Amalia did a video, and I want to share with you what she said here. She says, "This is challenging, but I am committed to day 3. This is challenging, but I'm committed." Listen, when she came in, she said, my goodness, I'm scared. I'm nervous. I don't know how to do this stuff. She said, I'm scared, and this is challenging, but I'm committed to day 3. So here's the thing. All right. We gave some of you some feedback. One of the pieces of feedback that we gave was, okay, look at your audience, know where the lens is. Okay. If you're filming a video, if you're on camera, if you're sharing your story, the audio is important, but we also want them to see your eyes and your eye contact and feel like you're talking just to them. So you got to know where the lens is. That's one of the pieces of feedback that we shared yesterday. We also said landscape or portrait. Landscape or portrait. Which one is right? Well, it depends on where you are. What did we say? We said if you're on Instagram stories or Instagram live, you probably want to be portrait. But if you're on Facebook live, or if you're on YouTube live, you probably want to be landscape. If you're just shooting a pre-recorded video, you probably want to be landscape. And then the third thing that we said was rule of thirds. We talked about the rule of thirds yesterday, right? So just as a quick recap, let me share with you rule of thirds again, just as a demonstration here, right? So check this out. Remember we said this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I got a grid, right? But you want to be centered as much as you can so that people can focus on the content. They can focus on you. If you happen to be doing a pre-recorded video and you want to have information on this side, then you can bring yourself over to the right or to the left, right? But if you're just doing a talking head shot, then there's not really a big reason for you to be hanging out over here. Okay, you want to really be front and center. So let me get rid of that grid and go back to what's the important thing here. All right, so here's the thing. When you have instructions or when you learn new knowledge, I want you to begin implementing stuff. Action takers, that's what we want, right? So check this out. Ooh, look at this. Amalia, before, a few days ago, and she's even taken the simple action step of moving to the landscape for her Facebook, and you can see the difference in her body, where what we see. And she was like, "Listen, I'm feeling more confident. I'm gonna get dressed up, y'all. I'm gonna put on my sexy hat. Listen." Right? So she is an action taker, and I want to congratulate her. Elizabeth is like, "Amalia, I love the hat." I love it. I love it. So let's keep this thing moving, because I want to get to our guest for tonight, because he's going to drop some knowledge. I want to share with you one last thing. My goal for you in this group, again, is to take action so much so that we provide in this community regular instances of feedback. If you want feedback on your video story, every first Tuesday, we do a live video story review session. So what I want you to do tonight, if you have not done this already, go back to the group, go back to the community, and look for this graphic. Look for this image. It shows you the date of the next one, which is actually next week, Tuesday, September 7th at 5 p.m. So here's how this works. If you put your video link in that thread, I will review it. Okay, I'll walk through it. We'll share it. We'll give you some live feedback on that video. So you want to take advantage of what we're providing in the community. I got to say, I don't know of many other communities that provide this live type of feedback for free. Okay, we're not asking you to pay for that. We're so committed to making sure that you get better at not just video, but communication and storytelling. So let's do that thing. As we talked about this week, people are 22 times more likely to remember a fact or information if it's wrapped in a story. I can just chuck data at you, but if I want you to remember it, then I want to share it in either a story format, or I want to tell a story, or I want to share it with you in story format. We shared with you the 5 types of stories that you can tell in your videos. We talked about the why story, why you're passionate, why you do what you do. We talked about the who it has helped story. Okay, you have a process, a product, or a program, and somebody applied that thing and they got a benefit from it. We talked about the failure story, a time you messed up. Have you messed up? I know I have. Right? Is there a time that you messed up? Were you able to recover? What lesson did you learn? Then we talked about the higher calling story, what you believe, your core values, and then the philanthropy story, or as a part of the higher calling story, what is the cause? What is the thing that you're committed to? What are you shooting towards? Okay, what are you called to? And then the how we got here story, why you started, how you started, and then where are you now? Take us through that journey. Take us through that process. And the reason that we want to be able to share those stories in a way that connects. And some of you shared your fears. Some of you started to share already that, listen, one of the things I feel is I get online or I get on a live stream and I click record or I click go live and nobody comes on. And so I feel rejected. I feel like they don't like me. Right? And so we personalize it and we get mad because we're shouting into an empty room. Right? But we want to make sure that the rooms that we're in are filled with people that have an inkling or a leaning towards the message that we want to share. We want to find out the traits of our crew. We want to know what their habits are. We want to know what their hangout spots are. We want to know their likes, their dislikes, their favorites. What are the questions they're asking? And I don't know if I have the slide here on this one, but if you remember, we said that once you find out about your crew, or how do you find out about your crew? Well, we said that here's one of the easiest way to do this. The person you are most positioned to serve is most likely the person that you used to be. Right? The person you're most positioned to serve is most likely the person you used to be. I use the example. I used to be a teacher. Can I serve teachers who are transitioning from teaching into online learning or instructional design or speaking or training? Yes, I can. Can I serve mechanics who want to figure out how to build a better engine? I cannot. Right? Should I be selling T-shirts with mechanics on them? No, I've got to serve people from a place of authenticity, and that place of authenticity is who I used to be and the journey that I've been on and what I've navigated through. Right? Good. So how do you find the people? And when you find them, what do you do to engage them? Let's talk about it really quickly. Ask questions. Let's keep going. Get an opinion, this or that. Engage them. Okay? Get them involved. Ask them for help with a decision. Ask them to share their feelings. Tell them to drop a GIF or drop a link. Right? The other day, I said on my personal profile, I said, which of my friends are small business owners? Drop your link below. How many responses did I get? At least like 50 or 60. Simply because I asked a question. And people are like, oh, he wants to know about me. Right? So they put their link and they share their business. Right? Ask them to finish stuff for you. Ask them to finish stuff for you. All right? So the biggest thing that we've been saying is you're trying to get people to remember stuff. You're trying to get people to act on stuff. But the biggest reason that people don't act on stuff is because it's not memorable. The biggest reason that they don't remember stuff is because it's not memorable. So if you want them to move, if you want them to buy, if you want them to process or reflect, make it memorable. And we're going to talk more tonight about how to do that, because we don't want you to waste your time. We don't want you to waste your time. So we also talked about how do you make it memorable? Well, we want to follow some formulas. We want to insert storytelling. We want to use story structure. And when we talk about story structure, we're not just talking about, when we say story, we're not just talking about once upon a time. We're not just talking about my boyfriend, girlfriend made me feel. We're talking about story structure. Come on, if y'all have had value, if you've gotten value this week, go ahead and just type value in the chat for me. If you've gotten value this week, because I know that I have been putting my heart and soul into this thing, right? We want to make sure that you walk away from this week empowered and equipped, right? So the structure of a story. A story consists of really four main elements. Four main elements. A context, a character, a conflict, and a conclusion. Some people break it down a little bit simpler. They may say it's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Yes, you can have a beginning, a middle, and an end, but I want you to have a purpose to your beginning, middle, and end. What do you want to do with the end? At the beginning, you want to set the stage. In the middle, you really want to create some tension. And then in the end, you want to tell them either how to solve their problem, how to fix a struggle or challenge that they're having, or how you did it. Is there a process that you've gone through to make sure that you do that, right? So set a context, address or create attention, and then offer a solution to them. All right? Or you can find out what's happening with them currently. What opportunities are they missing or losing out on because of their current state, and then tell them, help them figure out how to fix it. You guys are not just regular human beings. You are human business owners, right? You are humans with a story to share. You are humans with a purpose. And your purpose, as we said this week, is not just to do random things. Your purpose is to transform the life of somebody else. Your purpose is to touch the life of somebody else with your story so that they can be changed, so that they can do something different, right? So again, when we hear the word purpose, I want you to stop for a moment and stop listening to the people who are talking about, oh, your purpose is this, your purpose is that, your purpose is to be a lawyer, or, yeah, and you're wandering around trying to find your purpose. All of us have the same purpose. We all have gifts, skills, talents, and abilities that are unique to us, right? And they're unique to us because we're supposed to do something with it. And that thing that we're supposed to do with it is share it, tell it, and touch and transform the life of somebody else. That's it. That's your purpose. Stop wondering. Stop searching. That's your purpose. You got it. You got it. So Robert's math formula. Ooh, yeah. Story structure equals interest equals influence equals sales. If you utilize what I say is the best communication mechanism out there, storytelling, then you gain interest. And when you gain interest, when you get their attention, then you can influence. And then once you're able to influence as a business owner, that's going to help you move towards sales. All right. So, and then we talked lastly, before we could get to our guest tonight, we talked about how you can get into the mind of your audience. And we talked about the structure, the clear structure. And we want you to use a structure. We want you to use a framework when you go live. We want you to be intentional. So you want to connect first. All right. You want to start their brains moving. Then you want to share a lesson, or you want to let them know what is the thing that you want them to take away from this thing. What do you want them to learn? What should they listen out for? What should they pay attention to? Okay. And if you don't believe me, go to most YouTube videos of YouTubers. They start out, and a lot of times they don't say, hey, my name is Robert Kennedy. They'll ask a question, and they say, are you struggling with this thing? And then they'll say, well, here's what we're going to cover in this video. We're going to talk about this thing. And they share what they're going to talk about. And after that, they'll do their intro, and then they'll come back and they'll go into the meat of the story, right? So after you've shared that lesson, then you share a personal experience. You can share your story. Listen, I'm just like you. I experienced this. I went through this 3, 4, 5 years ago. I was trying to gain an audience online, and what I would do is I would make these videos, and I put these videos out, and then I upload them to YouTube, and then I would have like 1 view, and then after 5 days I'd have like 2 views, and I'd have like, is anybody else like that, right? And you start to share your experience that connects with what they're experiencing. Share an example related to their struggle. Then what do they need to do? What's the action that you want them to take? What's the solution that you're offering? And then what do they need to consider? And then finally, remind them of the benefits of taking action now. Remind them of how following your advice makes a difference. Remind them of how your solution or your experience connects to where they are now. And then remind them to take an action. Okay, so this is the clear framework that we shared with you yesterday. Connect, lesson, experience, action, remind, and reconnect. Right? And I shared with you, I believe, in the email, if you're registered for this thing, you're getting some emails and some information from us. And we shared with you this video prep sheet. I think I shared the wrong thing with you. I want to share this one with you. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to make this larger. So if you missed it, and you have an iPhone, or I don't know how it works with an Android, but you should be able to scan this QR code and it'll pop the link up for you. Okay, so I'm going to give you a few moments to pop this link up. If you didn't get this video prep sheet, I want you to grab this. Listen, we're giving you not just value, we're giving you gifts. We're giving you freebies, right? We're giving you stuff that you can begin to use. If you don't use anything else from this challenge, if you download this thing, you have a framework that you can use every single time you go online, all right? What do I want to happen for my viewer? What do I want my audience to know or take away? What do I want? And here's the big one. What do I want my audience to feel? Emotion. What do I want them to feel? All right. Thank you, Natasha. If you got it, go ahead and type got it. Yeah, thank you. Evelyn's got it. Perfect. Excellent. What do I want them to feel? And I give you some examples of feelings. Excitement, right? Motivation, hope, reflective. What do you want them to feel? If you know that beforehand, then you can create it. So go ahead and scan that. I'll leave it up for about 20 more seconds so that you can grab this. All right. Facebook user. I don't know who Facebook user is, but let me see. Somebody said they got it on Android. Who's that? Okay, that's Rosenda. Okay, Rosenda. All right. Elizabeth, perfect. Teresa says, I will get it. Perfect. Excellent. All right, good. So I want to get you to the juicy stuff for tonight. I want to get you to the juicy stuff for tonight. So the question is, how do I best connect with the invisible people beyond the lens? We've talked about this all week, where I'm like, start where you are with what you've got. And what you've got, most of you, is a cell phone, right? Most of you have a cell phone. So you've got this thing where you're recording and you're speaking, but you feel like nobody's listening. And you're like, how do I share a message? And I can't even see the people. How do I get fired up? How do I get passionate? How do I know what they're saying, what they're thinking, what they're responding without actually seeing them? Well, here's a question. Let me ask you this. When you go to the movie theater and you watch the latest Marvel flick, how do the producers and the directors know how you're responding? They don't actually get to see you clapping in the theater because they filmed this thing months ago, years ago, and you're watching it on replay, right? So how do they know that they're connecting with you? Are there things, are there elements, are there little minute details that they consider that maybe we don't? Right? So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. So I want to bring in my friend in just a second here. All right. So my friend Rain Bennett is a filmmaker. He is a photographer, or he does really neat things with a camera. He's a speaker. He's a writer, and we'll talk a little bit for a couple of seconds about his history. I'll let him give you his bio in just a moment here. But he started out with next to nothing. You guys are thinking that I'm bringing in people, or we're talking about how you can record with fancy equipment. He started out with barely no equipment, limited training, didn't have a big budget for anything, right? And now he's a filmmaker that produces documentaries. As a matter of fact, an award-winning filmmaker that really found a niche in something that most people don't even think about. So I'm gonna bring him on. I'm gonna turn this slide off for a moment here, and I wanna bring him on. So, Rain, what's going on? I'm gonna put you on. I'm gonna take you off a second here, Cindy. All right. Excellent. So, Rain, what's happening, Doc? How you doing, my friend? Oh, I got you on mute. My fault. Sorry about that.
I said, what's up? What's up?
What's happening?
Not much, man. For everybody out there, you might have seen. Have I been on video this whole time, Robert?
In thumbnails, yeah. You've been thumbnails.
Okay, that's fine, because they still may have seen me giving some snap claps the whole time, because I've just been loving the things that you've been saying. So clearly, everybody out there, you're being led by a good leader. I'm happy to be here. But Robert, you're saying all the right stuff, and I've just been loving it, my brother.
Love it, man. Well, listen, I'm super pumped and excited that you're even here. So tell us in about 30 seconds or so. I gave them the Cliff Notes version of your story about no equipment, or limited equipment, no budget, all of that, right? And now what you do is you're a filmmaker. Tell us how that started out for you, man.
Yeah, well, I started studying under documentary filmmakers, but the thing that set me where I am now is I had an idea for this project, this story I wanted to tell. Didn't have any crew, didn't have any budget, nobody, funded this or anything. And I borrowed a camera from a friend and went around and documented this fitness subculture that went around the world. And it took me about 5 years to make the film. I had one little tripod, one little light that was on my camera, and a camera that I borrowed in my backpack, and I went around the world. And it took forever, and it was really hard. But along the way, I realized that if you focus on the story, if you tell a heartfelt human story, people will connect with it, even when you don't have all the bells and whistles and you're not a great editor. And I didn't really know how to focus the camera great, right? I was just out there capturing moments, real, authentic human moments. And that's what people latch on to. Since then, now I've created a business helping people with exactly what we're talking about today. Beginners get from 0 to 1 and 1 to 2. I'm not helping top, brands do their Super Bowl commercials, right? I'm helping business owners, entrepreneurs, influencers, creators, nonprofits tell their stories via video when they don't have a lot of resources. That's what I do.
Yeah. So I think where I really want to start moving us to, man, is you do documentaries, you do all of these different types of videos for small business owners, and people are talking about, oh my goodness, how do I connect with my audience? What are the things that I need to be even thinking about in order to connect with my audience? So let's approach this from a couple of different angles, man. So I use the word angles purposely first, right? So
Yep.
so let's show off for a second. Hold on one second. So yeah, so let's show off for a second, right? So I'm talking about angles, right? And I shared with you angles. Last time I did this, you were like, "That's the money shot."
That's
Right
the
there.
shot. Yep.
Right.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah. So does an angle, how I position my phone, the camera, how does that make a difference? And what should I be thinking about as I decide, okay, I'm gonna shoot my video story?
Listen to me. Every decision you make in a film, when you're watching a big film, every single decision has been creatively chosen, right? And the same thing goes for you. We're going to treat our work just like filmmakers, but we're going to do it very simply. Every shot, every prop, everything has been decided upon. Okay. So every shot, every angle you use has to have a purpose. That's what we're looking for. Now I'm gonna break it down for you in film terms, and we're going to bring it back down to beginners. Okay.
Right.
Context. It all comes back to context. Okay. So what your shot should reveal something. It should give context. I'll give you an example. If we use a wide shot, we're showing context of the scene of what's going on around us, the city that we're in, the setting. If I'm doing a wide shot, you'll see I'm actually wearing shorts over here, right? So as you get closer in a medium shot, this is a medium shot, and closer, now we're focusing on detail. So if you want to see that I have a tear coming down my eye or welling up in my eye, you need to have a close-up. Back here is never going to show that. So a wider angle shows context, right? If I wanted to show somebody something, I'm going to go wide. If I want to connect with them and I want them to see the passion in my eyes, I'm going to come a little bit closer, okay? So that's the first thing to know, is that close-ups bring detail and attention to detail. If I want to show them the phone or show them the thing that I have in my hand, I bring that closer. If I want to show them more of what's going on in the scene, or like in your case, a little sneak peek behind the scenes, then I will show them a bigger shot of my reverse angle, just like you did. So everybody could see you working the spaceship over there, and they're like, whoa, we got a whole production going on, right? Yeah. But when we're doing live video specifically, and video like this, it's always going to be about the face, right? But you can't just be a talking head. That's going to get boring. So simple things like changing where you are, but knowing why you change where you are. So if you're making a point, a specific point, you may want to lean in, like, listen to me, Robert. Here's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, you see, I'm looking dead in the camera, right? I'm leaned in close. On the other end, the audience is probably also leaning in, right? If I'm having fun and if I want to show my hands, let's say I have a prop, well, then I have to show a wider angle, right? So that's the first thing. And I'll say one more thing. This is a tip that I had. You've been on my podcast before. I had a storyboard artist named Nick Sung from Pixar on the show, on the Storytelling Lab, and he said this great thing when thinking about storyboarding a film, or a cartoon or whatever, is like, think about it. If you only have one shot, like that's all you can afford, what's the most important shot? Well, for us doing this kind of work, it's this. You got to just see me on frame. He's like, and then you build the storyboard like this. Okay, let's say now you have the budget for 2 shots. What's your second most important shot? That may be a change of angle. That may be one where you can see over my shoulder or see what I'm doing. And you just build like that. If whatever you have access to, you want to switch it up and keep people visually stimulated. You can do that a variety of ways. You can cut angles like you've been doing today. You can bring something into the scene, or you can simply move your body around. That, like we do on stage, using your body as a tool, using your face as a tool. This is the biggest thing, the simplest thing that you can do for a big effect, I'll say.
Wow. And I think the thing that you just said that I want everybody to get this is that stimulating or creating visual interest doesn't take a lot of equipment, right? So right now we're on Restream. Yes. We're using a streaming tool, and here's what we've been doing. I'm staying in the same position, really, but we've been swapping some angles or some views back and forth to create interest the entire time, right? Go ahead, man. You got your hand up.
And listen, you're controlling the buttons on that, right?
Yes.
You have a little toggle switch. So y'all, if you didn't notice this, I picked up on this, Robert. When I leaned in and I did my little thing when I got here, what did Robert do? He chose the single shot of just me. Yep. He knew that. We felt that because we've been doing this, right? But think about his decision. His decision to cut to me wasn't random. It's because he saw a moment. He saw a moment where things got real serious. And I looked right in the camera, and he's like, I don't need to be a 2 shot right now. I need to be on 1. Then when we go back out and Robert and I are going back and forth, we need a 2 shot, right? Because we're having a conversation. It's just like like in the movies, when you see two people on camera, it's called a two shot. It's important for you to see both of them. When you see the girlfriend getting upset, you need to close a close up on her eyes so you can see that emotion. That's why you choose that shot to cut. So you make the cuts to keep people interested, but you also make the cuts to indicate something, some reason that you're choosing to do that. Everything has a reason behind it.
Yeah, and I want to point out something additional. I wasn't going to do this before, but let me throw this in here for those of you who have who are struggling maybe with your own story. All right, one of the things that you can do is just what we're doing here. Position yourself as the curator or the interviewer and have somebody else share their story, and you can just ask the questions. So
now
if
you're sharing pro tips.
Yeah, right. Listen. So now we're on a platform like this, and you can do this from your phone. You can access Restream or StreamYard or BeLive. BeLive has a new app, a mobile streaming app, which is pretty sexy, right? And you can go back and forth. How many times have you gone onto LinkedIn or to any of these platforms and you're watching interviews and you see two people static, two talking heads in the same shot for the entire time, right? And you want to get a little bit of interest. So you want to make sure that you provide visual interest. Why do we want to provide visual interest? Because life is visually interesting. Your life moves around, right? Your life moves around, and you walk around. You walk around your house. You don't see the same shot around your house. Your life moves around. So we're trying to recreate moments. We're trying to recreate life. We're trying to create visually interesting stimulus with what we're doing on screen here as well. Because here's the thing that Ranger said: we want to elicit a reaction. We want to elicit a response from the viewer, right? So this is so good. This is so good.
You're giving them gold, brother. You're giving them gold.
Yeah. So you're talking about the angle. So we just talked about the angles and simple things that people can do. Go back and forth. Move left and right a little bit for a purpose, not just randomly.
Right.
So what about my area, the area that I'm in? What can I do to make, are there things that I need to think about to make it visually interesting?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that it depends on, again, you've said this already. You cover so much of the ground really well. It depends on purpose. Everything's going to come back to purpose. So yes, I mean, you want something decent. The focus should not be on the background. So you want the background to kind of be in the background. That being said, you don't want it to be super messy, because why? That draws attention to it. You want it to be a little muted. You got a nice light behind you. I've got some things going on behind me, but nothing is dominating it, because we are the dominant image, right? We're both lit. We're well lit. And we've got some things in the background that doesn't make it just look bland, like we're in a doctor's office, right? But it's not something that's so like, what is that? Like, you don't want to distract people. You want them to focus, right? So there's a few other little tips and tricks that I will do. And this depends on your platform and your purpose, I will say. But I'll give you an example. I have a TikTok channel where I talk about storytelling tips all the time. A lot of it is me just talking to camera. Hey guys, here's a real quick tip that you can do. Some of the ones that get the most engagement are when I have the camera on me, but then I have a big whiteboard over here to my left, and I'll be holding my camera talking, and then I'll bring it out. Remember, wide angle, so we're showing context, just like we just talked about, so they can see what I've written on the board behind me. If I'm up here talking close, which there's a purpose for that at times, connecting with them, they can't see that. Then I just simply move the camera back. I don't even have to cut. And now they see the wide thing behind it. It's like, see the beginning of Act 1? Here's what happens, right? And I'm showing them that context. Now I've been giving them a visual aid without using a graphic. I didn't have to be a graphic artist. I didn't have to create a slide. I just wrote on a dry erase board, and I just moved the camera back. That is as bare bones, beginner style as you can get. And another quick tip, using props. Using something else engaging that you have. I did a crowdfunding video It was during a crowdfunding campaign, and I had just gone on a shoot for the film I was raising money for, and we went to take the drone out to get some footage. The drone went 15 or 20 feet in the air, and then the rotors malfunctioned. It came crashing down. As soon as I went back, I got on the camera, told that story to my Facebook followers for that film, and I said, this is what happens. You know, we're $400 away from our $3,000 goal, and now we're $500 further because we got to replace this drone. But I brought them into it, and then I picked the drone up from the floor and showed them the broken drone. I still show, this was years ago, I still show this video in workshops, and everybody responds to having seen the broken drone. One, it's authenticity. They see it. It's very clear. I'm not lying. I'm telling the truth. And two, it was something other than my face, right? It was a drone that was broken. And as I picked it up, Robert, the wing just went and like fell. And so it was, you couldn't be more vivid, right? They just saw it. Yeah. They were just like, you know, having some sort of prop, you know, using anything, even just grabbing my phone like I do, and I was just showing something. There's easy ways to use your environment around you, even in this static environment where we're all, you know, in our home offices or on our couch or whatever. Think about what you can use as at arm's length that just keeps doing the same thing, switching it up visually, right? But also for a purpose, right? To help benefit you and the people listening, giving them more value.
Wow. Wow. Come on, y'all. Listen, you got to be sharing what your thoughts are in the chat, because I know that this is super valuable. I'm here hearing Rain, and we've had quite a few discussions. We've done stuff on Clubhouse together. And I'm like, whoa, this is phenomenal information that you guys are getting here. Listen, if you just watched and listened to the last 10 minutes that we've just gone through, you're going to be executing or implementing some of these simple things. You're going to be miles ahead almost everybody else on Facebook, on Instagram, because the majority of people are doing what? They're doing simple. They're doing, well, let me use this word. Let me try to encourage you by being negative for a second. Most people are doing boring. Right? Most people are doing boring stuff. They're just kind of doing static videos. But we want to, and the question that a lot of people are asking is like, how can I get more interest in my videos? Why am I doing stuff and I'm sharing it and I shared it with my family and mama and them, and nobody's watching my stuff, right? Outside of my people. Well, create interest. What we said before, if you want people to remember it, make it memorable.
I love it.
Right?
Yeah. It's so, these are the things, Robert. It's not like, you know, it's like saving money or losing weight. Like, it's simple. It's difficult to execute, right? But it's simple in theory. And many times we overthink it. If you want people to remember it, make it memorable. If you want to, you know what I mean? It is really simple, but you got to think about that. Like, what would I respond to? What would make this memorable for me? All of the things we're talking about, they're simple. Teresa, shout out Teresa, follow me on the talk. Appreciate it. I just love, and you are a master, Robert, at doing that, at saying these simple little lines that are just like so profound. So I just shout out. I love that.
Love it. So let's kind of, I mean, we're moving. Time is just moving real quick here. So what other tips can you share with us? I mean, if you pick up your phone and you're like, listen, I'm going to go shoot a story today. I mean, you've given us like angles, moving back and forth. You've given us, you know, using props or bringing in context. And remember that word. Didn't we talk about stories, context, characters, conflict, conclusion, right?
That was me, so you're giving us,
yeah, right? So what else do most people not think of that I can do with my phone in order to really create more engagement, interest, connection with my audience, the invisible people behind the lens, man?
That's a great question, and we've talked about a lot of it, right? Changing the angle. I like, you know, flipping it around and showing them an alternative view, which we've mentioned. You know, especially, I know yours is a bigger setup, but you can still show people behind the scenes. Here's another simple thing: motion. Like, do a walk and talk. If you can, if you're on your phone, you can do a walk and talk, right? Motion
Yep.
is one of those subtle things. You're still the main dominant image that they're connecting with, so they're not getting really distracted. But you bring them in this space. Like, let's just say you do a 10-minute Instagram live every day on your walk around the park, and you show up consistently. And sometimes they see a dog, sometimes they see a baby in a stroller, but they see you walking amongst the trees and on the trail, and like that is visually stimulating, but not so much so that it distracts them and pulls them out of the video, right?
Wow.
So just movement. Movement is one of the easiest things to do to add production value. And listen, this is not a YouTube video tip. This is a filmmaking tip. We have what we call sliders that go on top of the tripods, and they can be really long or really short. And all it does is it lets you hold the camera and slide it across. Now, watch a movie. Watch the next movie you see. And I'm not talking about a handheld shot, which is obviously moving, but watch a static shot. And 9 times out of 10, it'll be a slow zoom in or a slow little tracking shot like that. And you won't even really notice it until you are trying to notice it. But that motion keeps people there, right? It keeps people there. So a little bit of motion, either with you or the camera, helps. Not a lot. I don't want you spinning in circles and making people getting dizzy. So that's why walking and keeping it on your face, it takes some practice too, not to be bobbling that around. It's like your server carrying a tray of drinks, right? You got to get used to it. But motion is really good. Using a microphone or changing the distance so that sometimes you're closer when you're trying to make a point, and then sometimes you might be farther away. Anything that can cause pattern disruption. Pattern disruption keeps us locked in.
That's the word. That's the word. That's the word right there, man.
Yep.
So I shared with them, I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but I shared with them on Monday an app. And let me see if I can pull it up really quickly here. Let's see if we can pull this up. Okay, so I shared with them this app right here, which is Spark Camera, right? So I'm here in my office, kind of.
That's dope.
Just messing around, right? So the cool thing, and I'll repeat this, the cool thing about this, I can just press the red button and record a segment and then let it go, and I can record another segment. And if I feel like I'm messing up, I can just put my hand on that segment and delete that last clip. So I don't have to do like 49 takes, right? But the other thing that I shared with them was this. I shared with them that we can do like a picture-in-picture with this app. Right. So I think one of the things that I'm showing and sharing again right now is that, listen, there are applications, there are things that you can use simply that you can download for free that can help you to create some of the interest that Rain is also talking about. So the fact that I'm here talking, right, with you, and I'm like flipping this around. So I switch the views, and this is an app that I can do simply. Imagine I'm doing a Facebook Live or I'm doing a walk along and I'm talking. You see my face still, but I'm showing you the dog, or I'm showing you the tree, or I'm showing you the lake, or whatever it is. You know, there's a fireworks show in the distance, and I'm showing that to you, and I'm talking. So listen, we're sharing with you how you can create visual interest simply with your smartphone. So go ahead, man. Tell me what else, what other knowledge you want to drop.
I love that so much, because let's say that you are, a meditation coach or, a wellness instructor, something like that. I love the idea of like having that camera. Let's say you're going to do a 10-minute mindfulness meditation for your followers. And you say, guys, I'm here, and here is my view today. And you flip that camera around and just show them the sunrise, or you show them the mountain, or just your backyard, right? But just that, you're giving them a little peek. What you're doing for the purpose behind it is you're giving them a peek into your life, right? So they feel more connected as humans, right? But you're also visually breaking up the monotony of seeing your face. You're about to do a meditation. They're going to see you for 10 minutes. I love that. Seeing the dog that you pass, or even if you're spontaneous, you got to get used to being spontaneous. And if, there's some crazy siren in the background, let's say I used to live in New York. Let's say you're walking around New York City. Didn't you too, Robert?
Yeah, I live in the Bronx.
Yeah, so if you're walking around New York City, there's some noises. So flipping that camera around and like, hey guys, there's something going on here. Look at the fire truck, and then switching it back to you and keep on moving. That's just such a good point of giving them context and showing them something, bringing them into your world any way you can.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it, man. When I sent you the kind of the outline for tonight's show, you were like, "Oh my gosh, I got so many ideas." So we got to wrap here in just a few moments here. But what did we miss tonight that you're like, I gotta share with these people?
Okay. So you know me, I'm a storyteller by heart. I mean, even before I was a filmmaker, even since I was a kid, I was into telling stories on stage in writing form. So I do want to bring some storytelling knowledge back to this. I think that we've covered a lot of ground about how to be visually captivating and keep people's attention, right? But let's there's a few different ways, and you may have covered this, so I hope I'm not repeating anything, of grabbing someone's attention quickly. Okay.
Repetition is cool. That's fine. Let's
Well,
learn.
repetition makes, yes, that's how you learn, right? You got to hear it
Yeah.
multiple times. But this is about grabbing someone's attention quickly. Okay.
Yeah.
We've talked about how to keep their attention, but let's talk about if you're on TikTok, you know, we've already mentioned that a few times, like how to grab their attention fast, because the biggest thing is losing people in that first 5 seconds, because there's a lot of other places they could be spending their time. Again, a little bit of motion, not just standing there, not looking down, but immediately connect with them. A little bit of motion. On a lot of my TikToks, I start them off like, "All right, guys," and just a little, you know, kind of like hand gesture just to get it going. It's very simple, and I'm not the only one that does that, right? That's a common tip. I'm like, "All right, guys, today we're going to talk about this," and because it's portrait, they're very short, 15 to 60 seconds, but just boom, just having a little bit of motion gets things started with them very quickly. And talking about motion, we also got to talk about emotion. How can you quickly connect with the emotions of the people watching? Okay. And you can do that a couple of ways. You probably know this very well, Robert. You can open a loop, right? Basically create a question in your audience's head. Open loop, close loops. That's all stories are. You open a loop and make them say, "Well, what happened there?" And then you close that loop and you tell them what happened there. You create tension and you pop that tension, right? So an easy way to do that is start with an open loop. Guys, you will never look at storytelling the same after this. What?
Wow.
What after what? Right? Now they have a question. Okay, check out this tip that I just heard from this great storytelling expert. Okay, anything like that, you will never believe. You know, you have to hear this. Blah blah blah. Any open loop like that makes them want to have the answer. As humans, that fuels our dopamine, and we crave the answer to that. That is what will grab their attention. Another thing is to just let them know what problem you're going to solve off the bat. Be direct? Am I wasting their time or not? Guys, here are 3 quick responses that you can use to the question, how much do you charge? Right? And you just tell people, this is what we're going to talk about today. If they are interested in that topic, well, now they'll pay attention. If you start off like, "Hey guys, this is Bennett. I hope everybody's having a good day. It's Thursday, and like my daughter's been up all night again." Boom, they're gone. They're gone.
Yeah.
All they care about is what they care about. Okay. Here's what we're going to talk about today. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. You ready? Hope you all had a great week. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You know what? The mistake that I made with this tonight, we should have just put this on YouTube, like streamed to the channels tonight, because this has been phenomenal information. We're at a point where we can take some questions, take a few questions. So Teresa's asking this question: if we're going live from our phone, can we get the countdown somehow? Well, if you are going live on your phone and you're pulling up Restream or StreamYard on your browser on your phone, yes, you can get the default or the built-in countdowns that are there. So for example, I'm in Restream right now, and Restream has given me some things like this. All right, so they've given us a few pretty much easy things that you can use to just look professional. All right.
Yep.
So, you know, that's it. You may not be able to do that if you're just going live from your regular phone camera, but that's also the benefit of, you know, knowing a few of the applications. And Restream you can use for free. You'll get less. You can only go to one channel at a time, but using it for free, and you if you're using it for free, you'll still have the Restream branding, just like StreamYard. But for some extra features to create the interest, as we've been talking about tonight, listen, yeah. Anything to add to that, man?
No, I'm new to this platform, I'll say, but listen, I was on 2 live stream podcasts last week, and then I had someone on my show who literally wrote the book Going Live streaming your podcast. And so I'm all in. I'm all in now.
Love it. I think though this is Rachel. Rachel's like, sorry, I'm late. I don't know what's happening, but it sounds brilliant.
That's right. We love it. We love to hear it.
Love it. Yeah, Rachel, this has been our challenge this week. We've been rocking and rolling, and Rain's bringing the pain this week tonight, man, because he's really bringing some gold and some knowledge, man. So listen, Rain, man, this has been phenomenal. Thank you so much for spending time with us. I know I've gotten a couple of things. I mean, I think there's some things that I knew innately already, but just hearing you break down just kind of like the purposeful going backward and forward and voice, distance from the microphone and the difference those types of things make to our stories, to our videos, to our presentations, man. Yeah, there's some stuff that I'm going to be using,
just
man.
Be conscious, be conscious.
Yeah.
You got to lock in and know that you're talking to another person. Talk to them like you would talk to a person.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, listen, y'all. Listen, let's get to wrap this thing up a little bit here. And as we've said all week, I don't want you to just sit here and listen for this entire time and not do something. And the simplest way for you to begin is with what you already have, your phone, and choosing a platform. You got a phone. Am I going to create online or on-demand videos? Am I going to record videos and upload them to YouTube? Am I going to go live on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter? Or am I going to go live on LinkedIn? What am I going to do? What's my platform? Those are the 2 simple decisions that you can make, right? But here's the thing. And I told you this was coming, but I hadn't shared it with you up until now. We've shared some information with you, but you might want to go a little bit deeper. You might want to ask some more questions. You might want a little bit more hand-holding. You might want access to a few more bits of or resources. I want to share with you, here's how you can do that. You've got the Storytellers Growth Lab, but you want to go a little bit deeper. I want to invite you to join me in the VIP Insiders Club. You want to learn a little bit more about it? We'll talk about it more in depth tomorrow, but I want you to go to VIPinsidersClub.com and learn a little bit more about how we teach, how we train, how we share inside of that group and inside of that club, how to become a better storyteller, especially on camera. And it's one of those places where you can ask any questions that you want. So this is not limited. As a matter of fact, as a part of the VIP Insiders Club, you get access to our courses, which include how to become, we've got goal setting courses. We've got how to become a better speaker there. We've got how to be confident on camera. We've got expert interviews that are there. All right. So as a matter of fact, I think we're going to chop some of this one and put it in there. Right. So that's there. You've got community. We do live deep dive sessions each month for 90 minutes. As a matter of fact, our next one is Tuesday, September 14th from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. So if you join before then, you'll have access to that live deep dive sessions. And we've also started doing what we call story practice sessions. You want to practice your story before turning that camera on or clicking live or clicking record. We've implemented story practice sessions and we give you feedback right then. So definitely check out the VIP Insiders Club. The registration for that closes soon. We keep that open right around when we're doing these challenges, and then we close it shortly after that. So listen, I don't want you just to take the information tonight and then do nothing with it. Again, my desire for you is that you're able to tell your stories with confidence in a room where it can make a difference. So come on and join us in the Insiders Club for a little bit of help with that. When should you begin doing all the stuff that we've been talking about? Now, because if not now, when? If not now, when? I want to encourage you. I want to empower you. I want to invite you to take action, because the sooner that you do that, the sooner that you're going to be able to make a difference in somebody's life. So as we talk about action, at the end of every session, we ask you to do something. We ask you to do, even if it's the simple action of going live in the Storytellers Growth Lab. Oops, wrong thing. There we go. All right. And sharing a takeaway from today. And I know, my goodness, I got some takeaways from today. I might need to go live myself. All right. Go in the Storytellers Growth Lab Facebook group, the challenge group. Go live and share a takeaway today. Specifically today, what will you do differently with your lens? What will you do differently with your lens and your connection today? I want to hear that takeaway, and I want to hear what action you're going to specifically take around that. And then second action that I want you to take today is I want you to leave comments for at least 2 other people. Okay? I really want you to do it. I want you to encourage other people so that they can also in turn encourage you. And this community can be one that just explodes with encouragement and really becomes a place, a central point where we can help people to make a difference through their stories. All right. So that's what we've got. That's what we've got for tonight. Listen, I want you to take action, people. If you're going to take action, go ahead and type action in the chat. I want to see who's taking action tonight. Go ahead and type action in the chat. Come on, let's bring it up. Let's get some actions in the chat. I see Sterling. Come on. Thank you, Sterling. Who's going to take action? Teresa's like, boom. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate you. If you're going to take action, just go ahead and type action in the chat. I want to see that tonight. Come on, people. Thank you, Elizabeth Carter. Action. Oh, I love it. Excellent. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Teresa's like, action. I love it. Excellent. Let's keep them coming. Come on, Evelyn Santana. Action. All right. Amalia's like, action tonight. Yes. And she's got, oh, yeah, the boom and the fire. Amalia's lit with the emojis. I love it. I love it. So listen, y'all, this has been a phenomenal session. I know that I've gotten gold from it. I know that I've gotten gold from it. And if you didn't get gold from it tonight, then I don't know what planet you live on. Nope. I don't know what planet you live on. But listen, tomorrow night is day 5 of the Start Where You Are challenge. You don't want to miss tomorrow night because we've got something special. There's something that we're getting ready to release and launch, and I want to share that with you tomorrow night. So make sure that you're in the house, that you're in the room where it happens. Come on and be with us tomorrow night. Yeah, for day 5 of the Start Where You Are challenge. We'll see y'all. We'll see y'all. We'll see y'all. Let's dance on our way out of here. Come on. Yeah.